If you've clicked to watch this video, I guess you probably have issues with managing your money. Don't worry, for you are not alone. For a lot of us have struggled with this for a long time. I've been there before, alright? So now I want to think you might be falling under the category of either those who are very extravagant or those who've got what I would call a sieve in their hands, alright? That is, nothing stays in their hands. As soon as money gets into their hands, it vanishes unnoticed. You might also fall in the third category. If you are an African and you've suddenly found yourself accusing village people, that is, this uncle has done this auntie has done that, that's why I just can't keep money, or that's why I just can't realize anything. That's what a lot of people do in Africa, right? Blaming others. So like I said, if you find yourself blaming village people already, get a chair, we really need to talk. In this video, I am going to be giving you reasons to stop accusing village people for nothing, alright? I've been there. I know what it means to be frustrated by not being capable of handling finances. So worry not, I've got you covered in this video. And if you are new to this channel, my name is Evinji and I have taken it as a personal mission to make sure that you attain your financial independence as soon as possible. So you might as well just subscribe to the channel, like this video and share it if you actually find value in it. Now, you might have been hearing of budgeting, and maybe you've never considered it, thinking that maybe it's just for a particular type of people, or maybe entrepreneurs or people involved in business or whatever. But what you don't know is that budgeting is actually a tool for everyone, all right? And it is a skill that if you don't have, you need to develop, all right? Now, let's start by defining what budgeting is. Budgeting is actually an intentional saving plan that you come up with in order to manage your finances better. So it is a well-structured plan that will actually cater for all your needs. So you need to know exactly why you want to involve yourself in budgeting. You need to have a reason why you are budgeting, because if you have a reason, it is actually going to guide you through the budgeting process, because it isn't actually easy at all. It is a battle. So you need to constantly keep reminding yourself of why you are budgeting in the first place. So it could be because you want to pay all of your debts, you want to save up for your marriage, your anniversary, whatever reason you want to save up for. You need to have a why. Now, this is the first thing I would want you to do if you really want to succeed in your budgeting plan. Try to draft a list of all your bills, that is from the largest to the smallest of your bills. Now, on the right side, state your income and your assets. So the reason for doing this is that it is actually going to show you the reality of your finances, thereby enabling you to plan better. Now, after drafting your bills, track down all your expenses. Now, when we talk of expenses, you are going to be tackling normally the four walls first. That is the money that goes for your food, your shelter or accommodation, your transportation, and your utilities or your necessities. Those are the four walls, right? Now, you dig deep into your utilities or necessities. Try to identify among them which ones are your needs and which ones are actually your wants. Make a clear difference and try to cut off all the unnecessary ones. That is your needs, right? And the easiest way to do that is ask yourself which of these things you can do without, all right? So let me just take something as simple, as basic as a phone case. Let's assume you wanted to buy a phone case. Ask yourself if this is something that you can survive without. If the answer is yes, then go ahead and buy it, for it is a need. Now, if the answer is no, then don't buy it, all right? Anything that you don't need for your survival is not necessary when you want to succeed in budgeting. Have priorities, all right? On your list, I would advise you to what we call a scale of preference. That is, write a list of the things you need from the most important down to the least important, and actually satisfy those needs according to their importance. Now, let's assume you've got maybe a child and you've got your child's school fees to pay. You've got maybe your house or your apartment that you wanted to redo, let's say the painting. You've got your car that you want to redo the paint, or you want to maybe renew the chair covers or whatever. You've got maybe a new sofa you wanted to buy for your living room. You've got some cookware that you wanted to buy for your kitchen. education, you've got your child's registration fee at the tennis club, and many others. Put them on a scale of preference and try to pay for the most important ones first. Every month, you go to your scale of preference list and look at what you actually attend to this month on that list. Next month, go back to that list and see which other thing you can attend to on that list. Now, the reason why I want you to separate your bills from your scale of preference is because the fact that you succeed in paying your bills well at the end of every month doesn't necessarily mean that you are managing your finances well. Paying of bills is just an aspect of money management, right? Now, you've got other things that you will do generally during the month. Apart from paying your bills, that mostly fits within the 4 walls, that is your food, accommodation, transportation, and everything. You've got things like skincare, right? Especially for women, you've got things like skincare that you will need to take care of yourself. You will need dresses, right? Women love shopping. Shopping is actually something that is very therapeutic, right? And a lot of women do what we call impulse spending. Yes, no?
Professional spender.
Yeah, laughing right now is because my hobby is right there. Laughing, as I said, shopping is therapeutic because this is something I could relate, right? As a woman, I would love to shop from time to time because to me it is therapeutic, and I believe that if you are a woman right there, you know that shopping is therapeutic, or maybe you might fall in the category of some of us who feel that shopping is therapeutic, right? And at times we spend on impulse, that is spending without planning, right? So those are some of the traps that you will fall in if you don't budget your finances. So when we talk of budgeting, you can budget actually with the bare minimum. You don't need to have much before thinking of budgeting. You just need to have priorities, right? Like I said, try and filter your needs from your wants, and it is going to make things pretty much easier for you. That said, goal getter, I would love you to have a total control on your spending urges. Control that urge of spending without planning. Like I said, this is something that I am actually guilty of because I used to do that a lot, and I had to consciously work on it in order to be where I am today. So I totally understand that all these things are not easy. But then there are certain things that whether you like it or not, you need to actually adhere to them in order to have a smoother life. And budgeting is actually one of those things. Now, at this stage, I would love you to really retrospect on your spending habits and readjust them. We love to spend randomly, right? But have we ever paused to ask ourselves, where is the money coming from? Is the money we're supposed to save? Is it the money we're supposed to pay maybe a certain bill? Is it the money you were supposed to pay the children's fees? Always ask yourself what that money was meant for. Always pause and take a deep breath and actually analyze your financial situation before spending. If the money is maybe coming from your miscellaneous, it is okay, all right? You can go ahead and spend, but if not, hold on and make sure that you go through your budgeting plan before taking that decision of going out for shopping. This is because, goal getter, believe me or not, if you want to have a successful financial life, you need to control the impulse on your spending. When you go to TikTok, you will constantly find videos of TikTok made me buy this, TikTok made me buy that product. If TikTok makes you buy things that you don't need, that means you don't have control over your finances, and it is dangerous. So this is something I know we women fall in that trap a lot. So this is something I would love you to work on. If you are one of those people who just buy things from online influence without even thinking of whether those things are needs, you need to actually pause and retrospect. And that's why having a budgeting plan is important, because you can always go back to it whenever you are confused and you don't know if your financial decision is right. Always go back to your plan. That's why I would advise you do your budgeting and maybe paste it somewhere. Let's say in your room, is it at the door, or you have a corner or somewhere not far from your bed where you can constantly throw your eyes on and stay on track. And that's why you need to also track your expenses. Now, don't mistake budgeting your finances and tracking your finances. There are actually different, right? When we talk of budgeting your finances, it's actually, like I said earlier on, planning how to manage your finances well in order to satisfy your needs. Now, when we talk of tracking your finances, That means constantly going back to your budgeting board or your plan and checking if you are respecting what you wrote down. Let's say you had a business plan that you needed to be saving, let's say $50 per month or maybe $300 per month. Go back to your drawing board and check if you are actually saving that amount every month. That is tracking your finances. Now, go-getters, I would love you to do one thing that is very essential, right? Make budgeting a lifestyle. Make sure you are capable of controlling money and not the other way around, all right? You are a human being made of God's image and you are therefore superior to everything on earth. So there's no reason for you to allow money to have control over you. You need to actually have total control over money in order to have a successful life. So that's why if you're watching this video and you haven't taken it seriously to manage your finances properly, please take it today as a personal mission to make sure that you do. There are a lot of ways you can actually educate yourself on this topic. Make yourself financially literate. There are many ways to do that, all right? You could actually watch a video like this one I am making. You could read books. You could pay for courses maybe from experts and many more. Because if you don't know, money loves to be where it is well taken care of, all right? And if you didn't know, if you can't manage the small money you have today, there is no way you are going to be managing more, because God or the universe, for those who are spiritual, is not going to be sending money your way because you can't manage it properly. It is simple. If you can't manage less, you can't manage more. God doesn't love waste, all right? Even nature doesn't love waste. Manage what you have properly. Stop wasting money on unnecessary or irrelevant things to you. If you look even in the Bible, in Matthew 14, where Jesus fed over 5,000 people with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish that he had to multiply to feed all those people. He actually multiplied it and it was in abundance that everyone actually ate to their satisfaction and no waste was made. For after they had eaten, Jesus' disciples actually had to collect the leftovers, and they gathered all together 12 baskets of leftovers. That alone is a sign that you shouldn't waste your resources or your income or whatever God blesses you with it. So if Jesus, who could have anything and who could multiply anything at will, could still make sure that there is no waste, who are we humans to waste the resources that we are blessed with? So my go-getter, if you were one of those people neglecting money management or resource management, please take it seriously from today, for it is the key to receive more. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not talking here of being a crafty or thrifty person. No, I am talking of avoiding unnecessary expenses or avoiding waste. Also, just look at it from this other angle. While you are wasting those resources, there are certain people out there who don't even have what to eat or what to wear, right? Now, go-getter, another piece of advice I have for you in order to make sure that you attract abundance to yourself is to make sure that once God starts blessing you more, be careful not to succumb to lifestyle inflation. Now, if you don't know what lifestyle inflation is, this is simply the habit of spending more once you start earning more. A lot of people fall into that trap, right? And this is something that if you don't resist, you aren't going to go anywhere with your finances. At the end of the day, you would find yourself rotating just in one spot and start blaming the village people for no good reason. Now, let me take an example. You've got a promotion at work, right? This is a basic example. Or your business has maybe skyrocketed. Now, since you're getting more income, you have this urge of spending more. For no reason, you want to upgrade your car. You want to leave the modest apartment you were renting to go to maybe a villa or a mansion just because you think you are earning more. So that's what we mean by lifestyle inflation. Now, resist that. What I would advise you to do instead is to take that excess income you have and drift it towards your savings or your investment fund. That is going to actually enable you achieve financial freedom earlier. If you had debts, pay off your debts and save the rest towards some investment that is going to actually multiply your money in future. Now, goal getter, this is basically what you need to do, alright? Like I said from the beginning, that you should list your income, your assets, and your expenses. The next thing you will go ahead to do is to simply subtract your expenses from your income and get the balance. Now, the balance is what you are going to be working with. Now, what I would love you to do is to split your balance between your emergency fund, your saving for investment, and your miscellaneous. Now, I believe you obviously know that it is important to always have an emergency fund and a saving fund. That is, an emergency fund is that fund where you send in some money that is aimed at enabling you survive in case of any trouble. Let's assume maybe you lost your job, or you're a business person, your shop got burnt down, or one or two things. You can rush to that money and actually use it for paying maybe your bills, your children's fees, your feeding, your rent, and everything, while looking for a new job or reinstating your shop. Now, you've got your savings, obviously, saving for emergencies. That is, maybe the kids are sick, you need to do an urgent car repair, you need to maybe repair something in your kitchen, one or two things, you go to your savings, right? Now, you could be saving also for investment, which is that money that you don't touch because you are saving it for a purpose, which is an investment. Is it maybe a business? You want to maybe invest in real estate, you want to buy some lands, you want to land bank, right? Remember, I talked to you about land banking here on the channel. And talking about that, if you haven't watched that video, please do, for the video is so rich. Try and watch it, and I am going to be pinning it in the comment section or in the description box so that you can just go and click and watch. Now, once you've set aside the money for your savings, investment, emergency fund, the balance is what you are going to keep as miscellaneous. And it is now in that miscellaneous that you are going to be doing maybe your shopping for that dress you wanted, that shoe, that bag you were dreaming of. That's where you can get the money from, alright? From your miscellaneous, because you obviously need to at least please yourself every month. If you are that person who loves maybe to hang out with your girls or maybe hang out with your family members and have some good time, you are getting that money from your miscellaneous. Now, goal getter, let's assume you are watching this video and you've made all those mistakes and you are wondering how to correct them. Let's assume you've accumulated a lot of debts and you've got no savings, no emergency fund, nothing. There is one thing I would advise you to right now. Once drawing your board or your budgeting plan, try to re-evaluate your expenses and cut down on everything that is not necessary. The first thing is, if you had debts, come up with a clear plan in your budgeting on how you're going to be paying those debts. Let's assume you have a debt of, let's say, $3,000 or $5,000. Try already in your plan and set aside a particular amount that you could actually save up every month towards the prepayment of that debt. Now, apart from cutting down on expenses, there is one other thing that you could do, alright? Because if you've made that mistake of not saving up, of extravagant buying, impulse buying and everything, I guess you've got a lot of things in your home right now as I am talking to you. You can't even pause this video and check around. You are going to notice that you've got a lot of things that you don't actually need. Now, there is something you can do about it that is actually going to be bringing in some money that you could use to pay those debts, or if you don't have any debts, you could use to send to your savings account or to send to your emergency fund. Now, do you know that in this era, there are actually websites where people go and exchange the stuff they don't need with the stuff they need, or there are some websites where people go and simply sell the stuff they don't need. There are a lot of them. A common one that most people know is Facebook Market. I've even come across WhatsApp groups, alright, that actually do exchanges or selling of unwanted stuff. So there are a lot of ways that you could actually make good use of those things laying unnecessarily somewhere in your house. And the thing is, at times we even go as far as incurring debts just to buy those things we think we can afford. Meanwhile, in reality, we can't afford them, all right? Because if you actually have to indebt yourself to buy a luxury car, that simply means you aren't capable of affording that car. And therefore, there is no need owning such a car. This is a bitter pill to swallow, but it is the truth, all right? You really need to cut down on your lifestyle if it is necessary. Trust me, I've been there, all right? So if I tell you that it is difficult but possible, believe me, you can do it. If I did it, you can do it. I'm actually going to be telling you my story on this channel someday, for I think it might inspire one or two people, and I would be glad if you could really learn from my story. For I've had my own fair share of mistakes that I had to actually make things right, and in order to make things right, I had to be hard on my own self. And that's why I am very proud of myself today, for I have actually achieved a lot of things that I thought were far-fetched in a short time, just because I had to actually pause at a certain time and retrospect on my lifestyle and readjust a lot of things that I was doing wrong. So when I am talking to you about money management here, believe me, it's something I actually struggled with, but I came out victorious, and you can do that too. At times we try hard and get things that we don't even need just to impress people that we don't need to impress. At the end of it, at times, most of those people don't even notice all those things we were killing ourselves to acquire. And it is because life alone is already tough on a lot of people, and they barely have the time to think through their own problems. So they don't even have the eyes to notice all those things you are straining to acquire to impress them. What I would actually advise you to do right now, if you are in a difficult financial situation, is to focus on the 4 walls first. That is, if you can already secure for yourself and your family some healthy and balanced diet, and you can pay for a decent apartment for shelter or accommodation, and also, let's say at the level of your transportation, you could afford a decent car for your movement, because we know a car is actually a necessity, and you could finally maybe cater for other utilities or necessities like maybe your skincare, and as little as 1 outing per month with your family, and maybe set aside something to help 1 or 2 family members. I think you are good to go. The rest is not necessary, all right? They are not necessary. For now, cut down on all those things and focus on the 4 walls. If you do this, my go-getters, for just 6 to 12 months, that is a year, you're actually going to see changes in your financial life, and you will thank me later. And as a reminder, don't forget to set your goals straight and track your progress. That's it. Thanks for watching this video, go-getter, and I am going to see you